Now, okay, so we're recording now. So
All
first
right.
thing, the Batman. I originally was gonna see this back in March, but didn't work out. So you could go first. What did you think of it?
I liked it a lot. I did. I wasn't really expecting much from it. Like I don't know if that's the right way to phrase that. I just like didn't really know what to expect. I mean, I was like kind of interested, and it kind of surprised me because I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. But it was just definitely like
Sorry, my sisters. Everybody was away, so I sort of got messed up and stuff. But it
uh,
surprised you. Well,
yeah,
yeah, I went in with high expectations. It was like my most anticipated movie of the year
right.
because I love Batman, and then just the vibe. And I was watching Planet of the Apes movies. The guy was great director,
Matt
and
Reeves, yeah.
so yeah, I I think I went in expecting like top tier Batman, top three sort of Batman, and a guy like great Batman, and it sort of just soured me a bit. But overall, I think I've sort of gone down to a 9 out of 10 instead of 9.5. Just it was a great movie, but just
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I've kind of like I keep flip-flopping because like we both use the Letterboxd app or whatever. And I was like,
yeah,
I keep flip-flopping on like a 3.5 or a 4. Like I can't really decide on what I want to give it.
yeah. Same with me. I was going 4.5 stars or four, and I decided with four. I don't know if I updated that, but I decided on four for that.
Yeah.
Just
It's definitely it's kind of yeah, it's a tough movie to because I really liked I like the vibe, the direction, I liked the arc of the main character, and the score was great. You touched on that. It's
yeah,
just it was like it was kind of like the relationships with the characters I felt were like kind of underdeveloped, like the Catwoman relationship
mm,
and like Alfred as well was kind of just like they have the scene where he like what happens, he gets bombed or whatever, and then he's
yeah.
like in the hospital bed, and I was like I feel like they want me to like really be getting emotional right now, and I'm just not feeling it. Like this kind of, they didn't really build that up, like their relationship up like enough for me to care as much as I think they wanted me to.
Yeah, that
um
that thing. I was sort of excited, like Andy Serkis doing Alfred, sort of cool
I
thing,
didn't
but
think it was bad. I just thought
no, it wasn't given enough time, and you'd think they'd be able to do that in a 3 hour movie, but they just didn't.
yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it's just like there's a lot going on. And what was your? You said you had a problem with the villains, or what? Like
I was just Penguin. I really enjoyed. Like I looked up the actor guy, I forgot his name, but
Colin
I looked
Farrell?
him up. Yeah, he didn't look familiar at all,
No,
and
yeah, he
then
completely. Yeah.
yeah, he did a great job as Penguin, but he just didn't get enough time. And the Riddler, I think I might have gone with another once again high expectations, and he just
Mhm.
wasn't as good as I was expecting. And Catwoman was just I I've been watching all the Batman movies, and I would say I don't think she's the worst Catwoman. I think she's a bit better than Anne Hathaway, at least for me.
Mhm.
But she just also disappointing. It's just I
Yeah,
think it was
it's.
my
I
high.
still need to watch the original one. Where who's it? Like Michelle Pfeiffer or something? Like
Yeah,
I need to.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I
I think
still
you.
need. That's like the number one like movie on my list of Batman movies that I need to watch. I've just never been able to find it like anywhere, and I'm like I want to watch this movie, but I can just never find it.
Yeah, well, if I want to watch something, I either check the streaming services or buy it on eBay or Amazon, depending on wherever
Mhm.
I can find it the cheapest.
Yeah, we have like a lot of thrift stores like around my area, so I always kind of go in there and check like, okay, do they have anything new in here that I'm looking for?
Yeah,
So I'm always keeping an eye out.
same here, but you don't usually find Batman movies there because Batman's
Yeah.
bigger, sort of. Well, I found the Dark Knight trilogy at one once, but
Oh,
it's
really?
not the old Batman. And I think you would like Batman Returns. It's just the thing is they're not really focused on Batman. They're focused on Catwoman, Penguin, and Batman. They're just a bunch of nobody,
Okay. Yeah.
different sort of thing. But other than that, like the camera work, I think was excellent. Just the vibe, excellent.
Yeah. No, it was very good. It was very
Mm.
Batman was a very good movie. I just yeah, it just didn't like fully work for me, but it's not like something where it's like brought it down or anything. Like I still thought it was very good, like watchable movie. Like I would not have it. Like there's sometimes I watch like newer movies and I'm like, I watched that once. I don't really need to watch it again. I would not have a problem with watching that one again. You know, like
Yeah, same here.
I could see myself watching that again. So it's definitely, yeah, it's one of the. I feel like it's one of the better superhero movies, like in recent memory, at least in my mind. But
Well,
yeah.
I've been watching a bunch of superhero stuff. One thing there's the big superhero franchises. You got MCU, obviously, who've been doing it well. You got the X-Men, which I had just watched for Multi-Universe of Madness. I ranked them all, checked them all out, and
Right.
they had one of the messiest like timelines I've ever seen in a franchise. It was
Oh,
so
really?
messed up. Like they had modern day Deadpool, and you had the old X-Men, and then in the old prequels, they're skipping by 10 years.
Oh,
So in 10 years, the guy in Dark Materials, I forgot his name. He plays,
James McAvoy.
yeah, James McAvoy turns into Charles Xavier, the Patrick Stewart, in 10 years.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It gets so messed up. They delete the first trilogy. It's just such a mess. But they had some genuinely great movies in there and also horrible ones. And then you have,
is it kind of a very like inconsistent franchise?
yeah,
Right?
and then you have the Sony verse that they're trying to do with the villains that they have. And I didn't see Morbius, but I heard the post-credit scene just destroyed everything.
I saw like a leaked version of that post-credit scene. It just looks so stupid. Like it was actually kind of hilarious.
Yeah. And
but
then and then you have the actual DCEU, which I think they started out very weird because they had Zack Snyder doing everything. And then they just have all this stuff going on. And I got the list of their movies here.
It was weird because there was like some big controversy last year where it was like they started out, Zack Snyder was directing everything. Then after they made the first Justice League or whatever, they like then wanted to not involve him in it anymore. So then like they released the Snyder cut, but then like they released a trailer on YouTube like a few months after the Snyder cut came out, but it was a trailer for like the first Justice League and like not the other one. It's really weird. They're like trying to like pretend that Zack Snyder doesn't exist. Like it's really weird.
Yeah, I think they're in a bad place because they started off pretty good, which Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, very controversial. Batman v Superman, I like it. I don't know if you've seen that one. Have you?
I watched it years ago. I just don't have a vivid memory. I don't mind Man of Steel though.
I love it actually.
I like Man of Steel a decent amount. Yeah.
And then they had their bad streak for me: Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman. I actually really don't like.
Oh,
Justice League, then Aquaman. So they had their more controversial years. And then they've sort of gone into a better direction. They did Shazam, Birds of Prey, actually, like Wonder Woman. But now,
I was just saying I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I like Shazam. I haven't seen the Birds of Prey though. I feel like I might like it though.
I don't know. I don't think you would, but you might. There's the possibility. Depends if you're invested or not. Like if you get into it, then you'll enjoy it. And then they've sort of been getting better with Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Suicide Squad. Both made my top 5, and then they did the Batman, and now everything's a mess again because
is the Batman part of the DC universe? Like, where is it like a different universe? Because like, aren't they gonna do aren't they gonna do what they did with the new Spider-Man in the Flash movie, where it's gonna be like all the Batman or something like that? I thought I saw that.
Yeah, just yeah, the Flash thing, that's the next thing. They're gonna sort of try to fix their entire universe, sort of delete Zack Snyder's verse and just fix it with the Flash. I don't know if you've been seeing, but their main actor for the Flash has been getting arrested, so they're considering.
Yeah, it's familiar. Yeah, he's like a crazy person.
And you got to feel horrible for Warner Brothers because he's in Fantastic Beasts. He plays 3 characters in the Flash.
Oh, does he?
He's playing like 3 different versions of himself. Oh,
jeez.
And they might have to fire him, and they're supposed to fix it with the Flash. So I think
it's a bad situation.
Yeah, it's just they started out just fine. They're going down, and now they're sort of going up. But I don't know. They're just a mess right now.
I feel bad for the Is it Warner Brothers that's also doing Fantastic Beasts? I think it is. But like, yeah, they've got he's in that, and they already had the whole thing with Johnny Depp, and they had to recast him, and it's like, oh geez, now I got to recast another guy. Like, it's gonna be so weird.
Yeah, it's weird that they don't usually have these problems with other studios, but Warner Brothers just got all the people that are having the controversies and having to fire people. But if they fire him, he's Credence, isn't he, in the Fantastic Beasts movies? I haven't gotten to check those out. But
or Aurelius Dumbledore or whatever. So,
yeah.
Those are their identity.
And then plays 3 characters in the Flash and a bunch of stuff. So
Jeez.
yeah, I feel bad for the Warner Brothers DCEU.
Well, actually, do you mind if I spoil New Fantastic Beasts? Are you okay with that?
Sure, spoil it.
They at the end of the newest one, it's implied that Ezra Miller's character is gonna die, so they kind of wrote him out. Like, it's weird because it's like they're like Credence is gonna die. There's no way to save him, and then at the end he just kind of like limps away with the Dumbledore family, and it's like implied that he dies, but it's also like, what do you? They're like, if we can keep Ezra Miller on board, then we'll bring him back, but if we have to fire him, then we'll just say that he died off screen. It's kind of weird. They're trying to do like
I guess
double.
That's what you gotta sort of do, but I think there was something like he got arrested, something controversy was going on like a couple of years ago. So
he
maybe
broke into somebody's condo or something like that. And like,
yeah, so I guess they were like, okay, let's just set it up. Let's see if something happens. But man, wow, because I think he was like one of the main characters in the first one, right?
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
He definitely like. It was funny while I was watching it because it's hard to actually take it seriously because they're always like, Credence is over there, and then he now has like this long haircut. He looks like this emo guy, and he walks in, and it's like it's hard to like disconnect the character from Ezra Miller. So I just kind of crack up whenever I see him on screen. Yeah, but he really did like they like diminished his role substantially. He's just kind of like they're like Credence is the key to everything, and then he's like in the corner like over there, and he's kind of like not really like up front and center. I think because they know what's going on with Ezra Miller in real life, so they were like, we want to like decrease his involvement in the story to some extent. It's weird.
Yeah, but yeah, I saw his haircut. It just looks so weird.
It's obviously funny. Weird. It's just weird.
Okay. What do you think they should do next for the DCU? Because they have James Gunn doing his thing. Like, I think they're on the hottest streak that they've been in a while, for me at least, with Zack Snyder's Justice League. And then they came out with the Suicide Squad, and then they came out with Peacemaker. Now they came out with the Batman. Like, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have like a real like huge opinion on that. Like, I didn't really like the Snyder cut or whatever. I don't like have any like super toxic hatred towards it. I just couldn't really get into it.
Yeah.
But it seems like, you're enjoying it. Like, the people who it is made for are like getting a lot out of it. So I feel like they should just keep doing what they're doing. Like they've got the Peacemaker show or whatever, the Suicide Squad and all that. Like, people are liking those. So I feel like they're kind of going in the right direction. Like, if they want to continue going strong, I feel like they've kind of already got their path set. I'm just like, yeah, what we just said, like the Flash one seems like it might be like a little bit like weird, like they're trying to fix it, but then it might also like end up being like kind of a mess. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah. And another thing that really needs fixing, can I spoil a little thing in Peacemaker?
Sure.
At the end, the final episode, they have a little cameo from all the Avengers are there, and they just show up late. And they have like Superman there, they have Wonder Woman. Batman isn't there, and they don't show the faces of anybody except for the Flash.
So it's like the end of Shazam where like Superman walks in and it's just like his legs or whatever. It's like, is that what it was like? It was just like they just kind of walk in and you don't actually like see.
No, they were sort of like standing there. You can see like the shapes of them. And then we sort of do the one thing that obviously on green screen, just Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa having a little joke, but they really, it just shows how they have no idea what they're going to do. They don't know what they're doing with Superman, what's happening with Wonder Woman. They don't know, because everybody really didn't like Wonder Woman 1984, Wonder Woman 2. And so they don't know what they're doing right now.
Yeah, it's just kind of like what happened? Like, Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill got fired, or did they just quit? Like, I forget what happened. What was the
Well,
situation?
I don't know what happened because I wasn't really into the movie news out there, but I think originally they were gonna do what's you just said his name, I forgot his name. The guy that plays Batman, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, yeah.
Ben Affleck, they were gonna give him a movie, and that was gonna be the Batman. And then they just scrapped that because something happened with him and Henry Cavill. And then they gave it to Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson to do just 2-year Batman.
Hmm.
Year 2.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, I don't know what they're doing. All these they were like, oh no, what are we doing with these main characters? And then they were just like, all right, let's like bring in all these like less well-known ones like Shazam and the Suicide Squad people, and it seems like that's kind of working for them. So I feel like that's like a good strategy. I don't know.
Yeah. Big part of that's James Gunn because he said he wouldn't want to work with Superman. He wants to work with unknown characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad. And yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Continue with that. Kind of
anything else to add?
I don't know. I don't think so. Nothing major.
Hmm.
I think we've covered most of the bases in that regard.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to come out with like a show on HBO with Penguin.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know. It might be okay.
Got potential.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I guess our next subject, Moon Knight. I actually, it got a bit spoiled for me, your opinion, when I saw your 2-star thing on Letterboxd, but don't really know why. So,
yeah, I wrote down some notes here. Do you want to? I remember in the last one when we did this last, we talked about Boba Fett and we like went through it chronologically. Do you want to do that, or should we just like have a general discussion of the whole thing? What do you want to do?
We could start with general discussion, and then we could go episode by episode.
Okay. I guess from the beginning of it, like I kind of had like a weird point there where my sister was actually the one that kind of got me into it, I guess. Like she wanted to watch it, and I was like, okay, I was looking for someone to watch with her. I was like, I'll watch it. So I watched the first one when it was like the only one that was out, and I was like, it piqued my interest, right? I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Like I didn't mind it, and I liked something that I kind of liked about the whole thing is that like they weren't constantly like referencing other things. And that's kind of like where it's like with Marvel that kind of bugs me is when they're always like, hey, we are in the universe of the Avengers, and it just kind of pulls me out of the story a little bit. But they didn't really do that at all. Like the only thing that there was that was kind of like that was, I guess, in the penultimate episode when the hippo references the what is it, the astral spirit realm or something, which is from
that
Black
was
Panther.
the Field of Reeds, I think.
There was something else that they said when they like were in the asylum, and then I thought you said something like, "Oh, the astral plane," and I was like, "That's something from Black Panther, I think."
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. That was like the one reference that I caught while watching it, but
and that's just a very like, not everybody's gonna get that. So
yeah, it's just kind of like a minor thing. Yeah, I liked that it was kind of like its own thing. It was kind of detached. I thought Oscar Isaac did like a decent job. Really, everyone I think did a good job. Like for what they were given, I think they did a good job. Like in regards to their performances, and yeah, it's good that they were kind of telling a story about like different type of character, like somebody with a split personality disorder or whatever. Like I kind of appreciated that, like about it. But it just kind of like after the first one, I don't know how to phrase it. Like it felt, I felt like I was watching it more out of obligation than I was like truly invested in the story, because they didn't like. I think I saw like your video earlier today on like ranking the episodes or whatever, and was it the fifth one that was your favorite?
Episode 5, The Asylum.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you on that. That's the best one in my opinion. Because I really liked kind of learning more about his past and how he created this other like personality to hide from the abuse of his mother or whatever. Like I thought that was all very interesting.
Yeah,
I just kind of was like, it was almost too little too late for me, because it was like for a lot of the show there wasn't really like a hook. I don't know how to say it. Like there wasn't really something that, like they were talking about things, but they were so vague, and like I don't feel like the show, like, because when you watch something like what was the other, like WandaVision, like that one's kind of like built up as like a mystery, and
Yeah.
the plot is like a mystery for the whole thing. You're waiting to discover what's going on. And Moon Knight didn't really feel like a show where it was constructed as like a mystery. So when they introduced like what's the Mark Spector's girlfriend or whatever, and they're talking about like, oh, I'm sorry that I abandoned you or whatever. I'm like, I don't freaking care. Like you didn't really like I don't know you at all. Like it's just kind of like there were moments that I felt didn't really work because I wasn't really invested. Like I didn't know anything about these characters except for what they were telling me in vague like pieces of information. And it wasn't until the fifth one when I really got like a reason to care. I don't know. I don't know if you had that experience with it.
There was a bit of that, especially episode 2 when they introduced Mark's wife, not girlfriend, but
Yes.
that was sort of like oh wow, but it wasn't. I wasn't invested. Like I didn't care about her at all in the movie. No, the show, as a whole. I was intrigued, but it wasn't. I need to get the next episode like I've been with some other shows. I got that with Loki, definitely, with a bit of WandaVision and a bit of Falcon and Winter Soldier at times. But
Yeah.
For a show that's supposed to be very intriguing, I felt like it didn't exactly capture me all the way, but I did enjoy it when it started going on and explaining things.
Yeah, it was like I liked I didn't mind the introduction, and it was just kind of like there's just a lot of the stuff that I don't typically like whenever they're out in the desert and there's like the purple sky. I'm like, okay, you're on a green screen right now. Yeah, it's just like it just kind of like I can tell this isn't real. And then there was like a lot of it just felt like the tone, it felt very inconsistent. Like it was like I do think the fifth one was the best one, but even in that one, like you have one scene, like the opening scene is like, or I guess it was also at the end of the other one. They like go into this asylum or whatever. The hippo comes out and they all scream like in this kind of silly way, and then later in the episode, it's meant to be this really like deep character drama, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like you got the kind of corny elements and you've got like these really deep, like introspective character moments, but I didn't feel like they were balanced well. I don't know.
Yeah. One of the things for that, I think, originally I was gonna have episode 4 in first place, but then I sort of like went through it, and I feel like they were trying to cram too many things into one episode or one episode of the show, where you're supposed to be intrigued by what's going on with Mark and Steven. You're supposed to be like questioning what's going to happen next. You're supposed to be emotional. You're supposed to laugh. You're supposed to also expect the great action sequences. You're supposed to expect all this stuff and have it all crammed into one episode. They could have one episode where this funny laugh where you're like, oh, wow, a hippo. They're laughing at it. Now they're screaming at it. Yeah. And then you also have the emotion. It's just trying to cram it all in. And that can work, but I don't think they 100% got it all the way.
Because it was something like I guess going back to like the first topic of discussion, like Batman. I think I talked about that in my review like a couple of weeks ago. Was like I felt like the Batman was kind of aware of the fact that it's like a comic booky, silly movie, but it also knew how to like integrate those elements into it without them like compromising the darker kind of mystery tone of the whole thing. And it's a problem that I have with most like Marvel movies and stuff. And I felt like Moon Knight was no different in that regard. Like a lot of it just felt like there was like, I liked the concepts in it, but they didn't like do enough with them for me to fully like care enough. Like I liked what they did in the penultimate episode with like the two of them kind of coming to accept each other or whatever. But I was also like, I felt like that's what the show like overall should have been, if that makes sense. Like I feel like that's what the show should have been, was like these two people coming to like accept each other and like becoming the same person. Because as is like they go 4 episodes and they're arguing back and forth. They're like, no, I'm in control. No, I'm in control. And then like literally at the beginning of the same episode, they're arguing. And then we're now just kind of like the flip of the switch. They've now come to accept each other. And I just felt like they could have like threaded that through the narrative better, like all the way, rather than just kind of being like, okay, here we are at this one point, like kind of what you said, right? There's too much crammed in. It was
Yeah.
just kind of this one, like immediately everything happened. So then we have a big fight, and then it just kind of ends. Like it just felt kind of like anticlimactic.
Well, one thing that I think was fairly good for me. Well, one thing that I should mention first is it's called Moon Knight, and Moon Knight really isn't there that much at all.
No. Yeah.
It's just sort of weird how that worked out, because every other show, WandaVision easily, Falcon and Winter Soldier, What If, it's all there. This didn't have that. But one thing I actually did like, sort of like the end fight sort of going on. I thought it was pretty good. Ahmed versus
Really?
Khonshu. I thought that was fairly good. The CG, I think that they did for the Egyptian mythology, because my favorite author, Rick Riard, he did a book series on it, so I'm fairly familiar with it.
Yeah,
I think they did.
read those a while ago as well.
Yeah, I'm fairly familiar with them, and it just, I like the character designs of Khonshu and Ahmed and how they did Moon Knight and Mr. Knight. I just like that.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't know. It just felt kind of like the same thing for me. Like it just wasn't that exciting. Like they were just kind of fighting, and then it was just kind of like there were some things where it was like, what? Like they have this moment where, the hippo god or whatever talks to Mark Spector's wife, and she's like, if we do this, we can trap Ahmed's spirit in this guy's body. And she's like, all right, sounds good. And then later on, she's like, Steven, I know what to do. And they go in, and then they start like chanting. And I'm like, wait, how do you know like the exact chant to like do this right now? Like, when did you learn that in the last like 20 minutes? I don't know. It just was kind of like silly.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. They got a thing that just came up for me. It says we got 10 minutes left, so I don't know if we'll just cut out and I'll just have to send you another link, but we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. If we're going episode by episode, episode 1, I actually really did enjoy when it set up everything. And even rewatching it after seeing the entire show, it still holds up and sets up everything really well.
Yeah, I liked the first one because it was kind of like, that's the thing that like I kind of need in these superhero things, like some kind of like human element that grounds it in reality. And so I liked seeing just kind of like this guy going about his everyday life, whatever, he gets stood up at his date or whatever, he, I guess, stands with the other person at the date without knowing it. And it's kind of like, you feel kind of bad for him, right? So I kind of liked that, like the human aspect. And then, after that, like it just like I was intrigued by the end of the first one. I was like, okay, see where this goes. And then like the second one was kind of weird, where it was like, what happened? The villain had his staff, and then he brought some like demon to like attack him, and then he had already beaten up one of those same demons in the first episode. And I was like, wait, well, how are you losing against the demon? Like, again?
Because wasn't that Steven that was in control when that happened? I think.
You might be right. I don't remember. I'd have to double check, but
yeah, I think it was Steven was in control, and then he gave it over to Mark, and then Mark beat the creature up.
Okay.
And then episode 3 was my least favorite. It just didn't flow well. Just get in the thing to get the thing to go find the thing. It's just
kind of like nothing really happened of interest.
Yeah, nothing
There's
really
happened.
It's
just kind of a lot of nothing.
And I think episode 4 really picked everything up when they had the shock value when they killed him. And I was watching it with my sisters. They're like, he's not actually dead. I'm like, yeah, he's actually dead. So that was just an interesting experience to see what actually happened there. And I can understand how Steven and Mark sort of bond together closer now because the weird experience that they had together.
Yeah, something that I just kind of side note, something that I just found kind of like corny, I guess, throughout the whole show was the fact that like they have to visualize like one of the different personalities like interacting with the other one. So every time they talk, there's like conveniently some reflective surface that he's able to see like the other personality in, whether it be like a mirror or like water or like a shiny table or something. Like there's always some reflective surface in their environment that he's able to look into and see the other personality. Like, I don't know. Just getting
I like that. That made sense to me because you got to see him somehow. I think the reflection is cool. I like speaking of that, a bunch of the like camera work little tricks that they had going, I like that fairly. Like he's talking to the gold guy that's sort of frozen in this state. And then you see the camera angle and you're looking at them, and then a leaf falls in and you realize that you were looking at a puddle the entire time.
Oh yeah, that was in the first one, right? I like
Yeah,
that.
that was in
Yeah,
the
that
first
was
one.
cool.
I just like the little camera stuff
Yeah,
with
there were
that.
a couple of moments like that where I feel the direction shined through. Yeah, that was cool. I remember that's like a moment I remember.
Yeah. I like the villain in first, Arthur Harrow, I think. I liked
Mhm.
him like until the final episode where he just went,
He just like died or whatever. It's
yeah, he
like, oh,
just
he's dead. All right,
died, but
sure.
it's not like he was really committed. He was very calm, calculated, and sort of inviting to Steven and sort of to Mark. And then he goes from
It was
that
just like a
to,
giant CG alligator was the true threat the whole time. Like,
yeah, and he's serving her, but how he ends, he's just fighting them regularly. And it's just like, because I love how we began the series with him with the cup and putting the glass in his shoes.
yeah, that
And
was
then,
interesting.
yeah, and then we go from that to him just punching Mark above a pyramid. It's just,
Yeah, it was just kind of like it was just kind of
yeah,
silly. I don't like. I just don't understand like these like Moon Knight's morals. Like I get that like where they introduced like the third personality or whatever. I saw that you were kind of like iffy on that in your review, and it's just kind of like I just don't understand like what are your morals, dude? Because he goes in, starts fighting the villain in the final episode. He's like murdering all of these goons, and then he's like, "No, I can't murder the worst guy who actually is like a psychopathic murderer. I can't possibly kill him. You just killed a bunch of random guys. Like, come on, dude." And
yeah.
then he like gets this new personality, and then just like freaking snipes the guy in a limo at the end. I'm like, well, okay, then what's your morals, dude? I don't understand.
Well,
It's just kind of silly.
well, the third personality, I think the biggest fault of the entire show is when you have that final showdown where his wife is pinned down, and then you have Khonshu's being pinned down by Amit, and then Arthur's above him gonna kill him, and then
Blacks out.
you
Yeah.
skip the final battle. You
Yeah,
skip
it's
the
like what
best part.
oh he's done. He's defeated. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Done.
and it was painfully obvious to me, even in I think was it episode 3 or episode 4 where he just blacked out and all the guys were dead and like, I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. And it was
Yeah.
painfully obvious to me that it was
Yeah.
a third personality. And just if you I watch a bunch of YouTubers that do reviews for these episodes. It was everybody was just speculating, is it this guy from the comics named Jake who's his third personality?
Yeah.
And it was. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that it was that instead of like
I just
Iron.
felt
No,
like
okay.
yeah, I felt like if they wanted to do that, because I guess it's something like in the comics or whatever. I felt like if they wanted to do that, they should have like introduced that in a different like at a different point in time and not like at the end of the show, because as is they're like they're
Yes.
trying to show because they're trying to show that he's like got this change in morality, which is kind of weird, as I already said, because he like, kills a bunch of guys and he won't kill the actual worst guy. But like, okay, if you want to show he's got a change in morality here, then follow through on that. But then like it's just so awkwardly placed. Like they have this introduction of the third personality and then he just goes and kills the guy anyway. I'm like, okay, like what like
Yeah.
why should I care about this guy who has like no morals and just goes and murders people? Like it's just so like it was like awkwardly placed
Mm.
because they were trying to have like this change in morality like on the part of the Mark Spector guy, right? Because he's like, I am no longer this like whatever assassin, and then it was like, oh, I guess there's just this other personality now. Like it was just kind of silly. I don't know.
Yeah. And even I'd rather it be like the final post-credit scene is Jake shows up instead of like somebody that we know from the MCU. And I think this is
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the first, if not one of a few of the MCU movies that just don't have any connections to the MCU, barely. Like don't
Yeah.
show any other characters. And for me, I enjoyed that. I think all the actors and actresses did a great job. Oscar Isaac, I actually think this is one of his best performances. I just loved him in the show. And
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, the guy that played Arthur Harrow, I think his name's Ethan Hawke. He
Ethan
did a
Hawke,
great job.
yeah, he was pretty good. Yeah, I
And
didn't. Yeah, I didn't have any problems with the acting.
but when it came down to it, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think I gave it. Did I give it an 8? I think I gave it an 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5.
Did you say 8.5? Maybe.
Okay, 8.5. Yeah, I'd stand by that. It's solid.
It's fair.
I wanted it to be better. It's not the best MCU show. A bunch of people are like, "Oh, it's easily the best MCU show that's come out yet." Nah, no.
I think the only one that's really fully stuck the landing for me so far is Falcon.
Yeah, the one that's really stuck the landing for me is Loki, easily.
That's fair.
And I know you haven't checked that
I don't really have an opinion on that. I haven't seen it, but
yeah. And then Falcon, I can understand why you really enjoy that, because just your sort of movie. Well, show.
Yeah,
movie.
It's my. I mean, it basically is a movie. The way it's structured, but yeah, I definitely like. I didn't have any like preconceived notions about this one going off of what I'd seen or whatever. So I was willing to give it a chance, and it just wasn't for me really. It was just kind of like, it was just kind of more of the same. Like, it had interesting, as I said, it had things that I liked, but it just didn't fully come together.
Okay. We're recording again, and blacked out. So, what was your rating for Moon Knight overall?
It's definitely like, I'm kind of, it's kind of tough for me, because it's like, I don't think it was like awful. So if I were to go like with an objective rating, I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. But I would give it like subjective, like a subjective rating, I'd probably give it like a 4. I don't know, 4.5 maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Like as I said, there's certain things that I liked, but it just kind of, when it doesn't stick the landing for me, it's just kind of like, what was really like the point? Because it's like, I can't really like judge something like on what I liked about it before if like it just kind of doesn't really go anywhere. And I felt like the show just kind of like devolved into the typical Marvel fare. Like, you got the CG guys are punching each other. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of like boring.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing with the MCU shows. Like, WandaVision definitely didn't stick the landing. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't know for that one. For me,
I personally like, I kind of liked that it came down to more of like a moral like conflict rather than like a big fight. Like, sure, like, I mean, it's just like a bit of a fight, but I don't think it was really like CG. I think it was like mostly choreographed. Like, I guess there's like the Falcon flying around saving people, but that wasn't really like a fight. So I kind of like that it came down to like the moral conflict between like the hero and the villain, and he's unable to save the villain, but he's still able to like put the message forward. Like, kind of the climax of the show is really like the hero giving a speech to the world, and I really like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was a fine ending. And then what came next? Loki definitely stuck the landing for me, because much like Falcon and Winter Soldier, it came down to 3 people in a room talking. And that worked so well for me. Whereas I felt Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think the message was put a bit too clearly. It just immediately told you in this monologue. Well, Loki, I just really enjoyed how it ended with that. And then What If, it was stuck the landing for the show that it was. And then Hawkeye didn't.
Yeah,
the Boba Fett didn't.
No, it was just kind of like, yeah, I think I probably like, in regards to like, yeah, like I said, I can't make like a valid, I don't have like a valid opinion on Loki because I didn't watch the whole thing. But like, I think I maybe preferred Hawkeye like slightly to Moon Knight personally, like just like a little bit. I don't know, like they're maybe like around the same level, but I think like, because like I said, when I was watching Moon Knight, after the first one, I felt more like I was watching it out of obligation rather than like actual enjoyment. And like with Hawkeye, like I wasn't like overly like, I don't know, emotionally connected to the characters or invested in the story, but I think I was like, more like entertained by the experience of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. For me, I watch quite a bit of shows. Umbrella Academy, I'm doing Stranger Things, I'm rewatching Daredevil, I'm doing Moon Knight. So whenever Star Wars, Marvel, like big name show comes out, I'm gonna watch it. So it's definitely obligation. But there's stuff where you don't have to watch it, but you really just wanna. And that if Moon Knight had come out like 10 years ago and really just underrated show that people say is good. And I checked it out. I think I would just check it out. And some of that's what happened with, I don't know if you saw, you probably didn't, but my favorite animated show, I saw just this random show that came out 10 years ago, and I checked it out. It was favorite animated show, Gravity Falls. I don't know.
Gravity Falls. Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't seen like I might have seen like a bit of it once in a while, like on TV or something. I don't think I've seen like that
Yeah,
much.
it's very different sort of a thing. But yeah, Moon Knight. I think it's I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch Falcon the Winter Soldier, but it's sort of Falcon the Winter Soldier and Moon Knight for number 2 spot on my list for shows. 2 shows.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like, yeah, I just wish like it could have been better. It's like, yeah, I see the potential with it, and who knows, maybe they could like rectify some of the problems and like, do you know do you think they're going to do a season 2 or?
I think they will. Yes, I think they will.
Yeah. So if they do that, like I feel like there's definitely the possibility to kind of like streamline it a bit more, like further explore kind of the most interesting aspects of the first season. It just kind of, it was like a little bit messy.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like it seems like you got a lot out of it, so that's good.
Yeah. The other thing, like the other shows, they don't really set up a second season other than Loki, and this one I could clearly see they should come out with one next year, the year after that, something like that, because a bunch of people really enjoyed it. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a story with potential. That I think could be like further explored in future.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I think maybe Multi-Universe of Madness comes out. When does it come out? It does come out. It came out yesterday. Huh. But what's your thing on that? Are you gonna check it out? You feel like it's gonna be horrible? Feel like it's gonna be great?
I don't know. It's just kind of like, it just seems like another one of these like, I don't know, cameo movies. Like there's like a lot of cameos in it.
I've heard that people are thinking it, but I've heard a bunch of reviews and they say it's not a cameo after cameo after cameo movie. There's a few nice things there, but it's not that, which I like. They say it's a lot more gory and a lot more horror based than
oh really
superhero based, which that gets me excited. That's my number 2 most anticipated movie of this year.
Really?
So,
yeah, I don't really have like any big judgments of it. Like from what I heard, it's like mostly focused on Wanda, which like I don't really care about. I didn't really like the WandaVision show, so I don't really care about that. It is just kind of like, it doesn't seem like Doctor Strange is really the focus in his own movie. I'm kind of getting like Boba Fett flashbacks here, like though hijacking the show, like
yeah. But
so,
yeah,
I might watch it sometime, like once it's added to streaming or something. If one of my relatives wants to watch it, like sure, I'll put it on. But it's definitely not something I'm like, I must watch Doctor Strange, you know?
Well, I've done a bunch of anticipation. I rewatched Doctor Strange, rewatched all 13 X-Men movies for this, but
really?
Yeah. So that one, I'm supposed to see that one in theaters next week. So we'll.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have to do a review on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind the first Doctor Strange.
I think it's good. I think it has the Marvel problem with the villains. Just
yeah.
I don't.
Because you had like a really good actor in there, right? You had Mads Mikkelsen, and he wasn't really able to do much with it.
Yeah. Did he do anything good in Fantastic Beasts?
Oh, he was great in the new one. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Guys.
He was much better than Johnny Depp, in my opinion.
Yeah, just seeing the picture of Johnny Depp on there, I could just tell he seems like he's going to bring a bit of that Jack Sparrow goofy side.
Yeah.
Just from the looks, you could just tell.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird to explain it. It's like Johnny Depp worked for what he was like meant to play in those earlier movies, but like when you get into the third one, it's really going further into the history between like Dumbledore and Grindelwald and all that. Yeah. And it's like, I don't feel like Johnny Depp could have played that because, as you said, he's a little bit too like theatric
Yeah.
And like, so when you're trying to have like a real deep like exploration of a human relationship, I'm like, I feel like Mads Mikkelsen is like a little bit more down to earth as like a character. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I think he worked better for like what the character was meant to be in the new movie.
Yeah. What else is there to talk about? What are you looking forward to this summer for movies or shows or anything?
Don't know. I don't really know like what's coming out really like soon.
Yeah, well, they got.
Like,
Oh wait,
or
probably the Rings. Oh wait, no, that Rings of Power is coming out in September, I think.
that's my birthday, so that's exciting.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
just in time for my birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, I got October, so I got like Halloween Ends.
Oh, right.
Bunch of horror movies, but
nice.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing something horror based because I started watching a bit more this year I did the Scream movies and then checked out Halloween, the original. So I don't know, something.
Yeah. We'll watch that at some point.
The original one, just I didn't like it, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm doing like a random reviews thing that I just recorded that gonna review 5 movies that I checked out for top 50 movies from favorite movies from each year from the past 50 years.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty actually boring, unfortunately. I don't know if that's just me or if it's an older movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what else is there. Like there's the new I know there's obviously Jurassic Park or whatever, and there's Thor.
Oh yeah, Thor Love and Thunder. That's coming out in May, June, July. Yeah, 3 months. Wait.
Oh really? Oh,
2 or 3 months. It was the shortest release from the trailer of an MCU movie and the release of an MCU movie. So
really?
My opinion.
Yeah, isn't there like Christian Bale gonna be in that?
Yeah, Christian Bale's gonna be Gore the God Butcherer. So in the comics, you know the severed head of Nowhere where they go in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Right. Yeah.
He chopped that guy's head off.
Oh, okay.
In the comics, at least. So he murders people, God Butcherer. So I can't wait to see Christian Bale in that. But everything else, I don't really care about the Jane Foster or Valkyrie. Maybe Thor will have something, but
yeah, it's just kind of like it just feels like I like Taika Waititi as like a director. Like I love him. Done. Like I really liked Jojo Rabbit. And,
I love that. Yeah.
There's some other ones I want to watch that he did. Like you heard of Hunt for the Wilder People? I kind of want to watch that.
I think I have. I think I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so yeah, I kind of want to like watch some more of his movies, but like, yeah, I like Taika Waititi, and I just like, it feels like they're just trying to like redeem the other Thor movies, like the first 2, which like a lot of people, myself included, think are kind of boring. So they're like, we want to redeem it. So it's like the only character like out of I guess the main Marvel characters that has gotten like a 4th movie. And it's just kind of like it's a little bit like weird. I don't know. It's just kind of like I'm definitely like I'm more interested to watch it than something like Doctor Strange because like I do like I do like Taika Waititi like more as a director than Sam Raimi, I guess, but it's just it's weird. It's definitely like the fact that you know what you said, like the fact that the trailer released so close to the movie is like slightly concerning.
I think the reason behind that, and a bunch of people have speculated this, I'm not the first, is that you're not gonna like this, but everybody thinks Thor: Love and Thunder, Jane Foster, the Hammer returning, all that is a big thing, and it connects to Doctor Strange: The Multi-Universe of Madness.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
probably through all your chances of seeing it in theaters or anything, but
no, I don't know. I mean, it's like I don't really go into the theaters that much. Like, I haven't really gone into like an actual theater since before COVID.
Wow.
I think the last movie I saw like in the theater was 1917. But like, I have been going to like the drive-in. Like I saw Secrets of Dumbledore, the drive-in.
Oh.
Some other things as well. And so like summer season, like we like to support the drive-in because sometimes they get like screwed over. Like they got screwed over by Disney like a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2018. They were like going to show Ant-Man 2, and then Disney was like, "We're not going to let you show it," or something. It was kind of mean. So then we went and watched like I don't know Jurassic Park or not the Jurassic World 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even really have that much like anticipation for it. We went to see that just to kind of support them. It's like I might like not Doctor Strange. Thor comes out a couple months during the summer. I think like that's usually around the time my sister and her like boyfriend live a couple provinces over. So they usually come to visit in the summer. So it might be like a good drive-in movie. Go see it. You know, like
Yeah.
Sure.
The drive-in thing, it's weird because we pass a drive-through like twice a week, and we've gone there only once, but we're more of a movie theater because they're closer. The nearest drive-through is drive-in is 45 minutes away. The closest theater is like half an hour, so it's a bit closer, and then also nobody's at the theater, so
yeah, that's true.
Positive. I haven't been to the theater since No Way Home, so you've been.
Oh, really?
No, but you've seen yikes. You've been to the drive-in and seen something, so that's something at least.
Yeah, I think I saw No Way Home after. Yeah, I saw No Way Home later than you did. So yeah, I saw like I've seen a couple things at the drive-in. Yeah, my No Way Home drive-in experience is like not the greatest. It's like a lot of snow.
Yeah, I did.
It should have been called Snow Way Home. It's like not a good joke at all.
Well, I think some people are really looking forward to what's it called? Yeah, I got it over there. Top Gun Maverick sequel.
Oh,
the Top Gun.
Yeah, I heard. I did watch like the first Top Gun a couple years ago. I didn't think it was bad. I thought like maybe like slightly overrated. Like I didn't love it. It's kind of like one of those like I think we had a discussion with this like a couple months ago. Like it's kind of like the Matrix for me. Like I like the original Matrix, but I also don't like love it as much as everyone else does. Like it's kind of
I'm there too. It's good, but it's not the masterpiece, best movie of all time. No.
Yeah, no, I don't think that either.
Yeah. And I haven't seen the first Top Gun. I'm gonna check it out maybe whenever the second one comes to streaming, because I think it's on Netflix, the first one. But check it out. I don't know if I've ever seen a Tom Cruise movie, believe it or not.
Really?
So, yeah.
Tom Cruise, it's like Tom Cruise is a weird guy. He's kind of like a psychopath, but like I also kind of respect like his dedication to like movie making, like the filmmaking process. Like I respect him as like an actor and a filmmaker, but I'm also like, you're kind of crazy. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll check out some of his stuff, probably whenever Top Gun comes to theaters. And then what else is coming out? Oh, yeah, there's a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. Have
you seen that?
I've not seen that. I think my little brothers are gonna see it whenever we go to Multi-Universe Madness. They haven't been to the theaters ever there.
I think my friend may have actually seen it. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the first one. I don't really have much of like a connection to Sonic, like the game character.
I've never played a Sonic the Hedgehog game. Never.
Really?
I haven't even seen like the game ever. Never. I know nothing.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not really for me. I don't know. Maybe sometime. Maybe looking for something to put on. I thought I heard that Jim Carrey is like going to retire now or something.
Yeah, there was a big thing. Bruce Willis and Jim Carrey are both. Bruce Willis is indefinitely retiring, and then Jim Carrey's like, I'm gonna take a break. We'll see if I come back. I might not. So
okay. I mean, there's definitely pretty rich. I don't know how many more movies he needs to do. But
because he was big in the 90s, and then he did like a bunch of serious movies, and I don't really think he's done a whole bunch other than the Sonic the Hedgehog movies now. And then Bruce Willis, I might have seen him in something. I saw him like a baseball movie once, but other than that, he's in like Die Hard? Yeah, he's in Die Hard. I have not seen Die Hard. One on the list to check out for movies that people say are amazing, but I haven't seen yet. So.
Oh, yeah, it was a pretty good one. I watched it like last Christmas because it's like kind of technically like a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And it was like Alan Rickman was also in that.
Yeah, somebody was just commenting on my video, literally yesterday. They're like, "Hey, why isn't Die Hard on your Christmas list?" Somebody was watching, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna check that out."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Yeah. What else is coming out? You got
Um,
there's the new Jurassic World.
I got a thing over here with all the stuff that's coming out.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
Jurassic World. What is it?
Oh, like, Lightyear.
Lightyear. Oh yeah, that one. That's interesting. I might watch that.
Yeah, I was really looking. I'm the only person in my entire family that's looking forward to it.
Oh really?
I showed my sisters the trailer, and they're like, "Why are you looking forward to that?" My mom's like, "No, my dad doesn't care." My little brothers, even my little brothers, they're like, "I that doesn't look good."
Huh. I don't. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I'll keep an open mind about it. It seems like kind of a weird premise, but like Pixar is kind of the king of like turning weird premises into really good movies. So I don't know.
Yeah, people were saying they had CinemaCon last week or the year before, where they just no, the week before, not the year, but they were saying how they were showing parts of movies. They showed like the entire Top Gun Maverick. They showed a few minutes of Avatar: The Way of the Water. And then they showed 20 minutes of Lightyear, and people were saying this is a tearjerker. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm definitely like I'm interested in that.
And then just the basic concept just seems very interesting, with having sort of you go into space and then come back and spend a year. For you, it's been like 10 minutes. I don't know how it's gonna work, but some
Like
sort of time thing. Oh, the greatest movie of all time, Minions: Rise of Gru, is coming out next year.
Oh wow,
July. Couple
well,
of
that's
months.
#1 of my anticipated list, man. Can't wait for that.
Oh wow. I was a big fan of Illumination like 5 years ago. As a kid, just thought it was the best thing ever. Let's see. I don't know if I got anything else on here. Spider-Man into the Spider Across the Spider-Verse got delayed.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I mean, that's a lot of people are kind of mad about that, but like, I mean, if they need to take more time to like make it the best movie it can be, then like, sure, man, take more time. You know?
They said they got over 100 animators working on it right now.
Wow.
They said it's gonna have like 6 different universes with different art styles. I'm like, yes, this is gonna be amazing.
It'd be great, yeah.
And then I think the third one's gonna be called Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Oh, is it not just like part 2? Because I thought it was like part 1, part 2 type thing.
Yeah, they said part 1, but they said it's gonna be Beyond. So I don't know. People are speculating that it might actually be in live action. I'm like, I don't know. Just
like a Looney Tunes type thing. They like cross over or something like that.
Well, actually, like actual live action. But I don't know what they're gonna do with that, because you have all these art styles. You're gonna go crazy in the next one. And then what are you gonna do after that? That's even bigger.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like.
And then let's see. Oh, Wakanda Forever. I'm just gonna keep my expectations sort of lower for this one, because
I don't know. Yeah, Chadwick died. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little bit rushed, like a little bit like you should have taken more time to consider your options. I don't know. Like,
come out with it in a year or so after this.
Like, did they recast him, or is he gonna be like a CG guy? Like,
no, they said they're not doing any. Well, they're not recasting him, but he might be like a CG that you see in the beginning. But they haven't even announced who's gonna be the new Black Panther, so we'll see. I'm hoping like
it'll probably be his sister, right? She'll probably be the new
Shuri. I think that's the obvious choice, but you have to fight her in ritual combat. So maybe M'Baku will come back in. We'll see. Maybe there's speculation that Eric Killmonger is gonna come back, because throw him in the ocean. Maybe there's Atlantis involved. I'm just gonna sit back and see what happens, because the director, he did Black Panther, he did Creed, he did Creed 2. I really enjoy the director's stuff. Ryan Gosling, I think, but I'll just see what happens with that. Oh yeah, and then we do have Creed 3.
Oh, I haven't seen the first 2. I do, but like going off of your assessment, I feel like I might like them. I watched the original Rocky last year. That's like the only one I've really seen.
Oh, you might want to watch some other Rockies. You need to see Rocky 4 for that one, which you'll probably not like it, but for me, it's just a bunch of cheese. It's they legitimately get one of their friends a robot in it. They have like they give him stuff so that the villain is even better at punching and boxing and give them all. It's a very goofy movie, but it knows it's a goofy movie.
So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
And then final one here that's coming out, I think, on my list is Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Okay.
Which
I haven't seen the first one. I know that you like the first one a lot.
Oh, you haven't? Now that I'm going back and seeing James Cameron's movies, like I saw Titanic, I saw Aliens. I would say it is the worst movie that I've seen from him, but that's not really saying anything at all because he directed some amazing movies. But the first one, everybody saw in theaters. Like, I was surprised even my grandmother, who doesn't really get out, she's like, yeah, I saw that in theaters.
Oh, wow.
But everybody sees it in theaters and nobody sees it on the small screen. So I checked it out and I really enjoyed it. Like, he's got great looking CGI that still holds up today. You know, you got some terrible CGI with some movies and shows that come out today, but
it's kind of like there's those directors that make good use of it. Like, I don't know how many movies you've seen from Robert Zemeckis. He directed like the Back to the Future movie. Like all of his movies really, he makes such good use of like visual effects. Like, I don't know, have you seen The Walk?
Walk?
It's about this like tightrope artist or whatever.
No, I haven't even heard of it.
It's got what's the guy's name? It's the guy who was in the Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, Tom Hardy?
The young guy.
Oh, the young guy. Oh, I don't know his name. Sorry.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's his name.
Oh, okay.
That's one I'd recommend checking. It's like he's like tightroping between the Twin Towers or something. Like, that's what it's about. And it's like Robert Zemeckis like recreated like these buildings that were destroyed years ago, like with visual effects, and they look so like real. Like, it's insane.
I'm looking at it. The guy directed Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That is actually really good. Let me see. The Walk. Oh, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Not everyone liked it, but I thought it was very good.
I don't know. It depends how they do the movie for me. When it's what genre is it? It's like a sports movie? We consider it?
It wasn't really like a sports movie per
Drama?
se. It's kind of like it's kind of a drama, like kind of like a, I don't know what kind of the pursuing your passions type story.
Okay, I really like those sort of movies if they're done well.
So do I. Yeah, I think you'd like it.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, The Way of the Water, they released some images and it looks even better. But the thing is, you're sort of transported to this different world, and you have so many pieces of the just the look, the feel, the vibe of the planet is really good. The story, the characters, those aren't that great, but the world, the vibe, the look of things is really good.
Okay, yeah, I definitely will like check that out before the new one comes out.
But
it seems like most of the things that I'm looking forward to are like coming out like at the end of the year. Like, you got like Lord of the Rings, and then Dark Materials. Like, they're all kind of coming out like towards the end of the year.
Oh, I got a lot that I'm looking forward to. We got Multiverse of Madness, Stranger Things season 4. I'm really looking forward to. Umbrella Academy. Huh?
Have you been watching the Stranger Things?
Okay, I've got 2 reviews for the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things all ready to go. Same with Umbrella Academy, the first season. So.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, well, I got them scheduled, for whenever it's going to come out, but been watching them. I'm in season 3 of Stranger Things. I'm in season 2 of Umbrella Academy, and his Dark Materials is next on that list. So looking forward to all that. And yeah, I don't know. Did you hear about Netflix? How they're losing people and making sacrifices and supposed to lose like $2 million in the next few months.
Oh, really? No, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, like they're slacking down on they're not slacking, but they're pushing on the passwords things where they change the password where you can't share it too much, and they're just really pushing on people to get their stuff. So
that's
kind of crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. What else is coming out this year that I'm looking forward to? Yeah, Creed, Avatar 2, The Way of the Water. What do I think? Are you gonna check out? There's some other Marvel shows that are coming out this year. Miss Marvel is coming out, which I don't know. That doesn't look too good, to be honest.
No, I saw that trailer.
I like the sort of thing that was going on a bit with the
It just felt like kind of like a Shazam like copy thing.
yeah, sort of Shazam, but also it. How do I describe it? It just seemed like when I first saw it, it seemed like a Disney show, like a actual
Right.
Disney original
Yeah.
show,
I see what you're saying.
and then it's sort of gonna be a actual Marvel show. I'm just like, but the other show, the show that I'm looking forward to this year, I don't know if it's actually gonna come out, when it's gonna come out, but what's it called? Secret Invasion. Yeah.
Oh, what's that about?
Uh, it's the Skrulls taking over, and you don't know who's a Skrull, who's not a Skrull. You got Nick Fury in there.
Oh, right. I think I remember hearing about that like several years ago. But I thought that like, wait, how are they gonna? Because I thought it was like in the comics or whatever, it was like a plot line where they were like evil, but in the movies they're like good.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but just the basic concept of being able to trust nobody and not knowing. And in the comics, they go like crazy. Like when they could change into Captain America, they have Captain America powers, and it just gets crazy. I don't. I think they said it's gonna be a big crossover event, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. Is your friend gonna be coming over?
I probably not. I don't know what's going on there.
Well,
Definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't wait for him. No.
okay. Well, the 10-minute thing came up again, so we could either end it here or keep going. Your choice. I don't
We
care.
can keep going for like 5 more minutes or so. I think we've like covered most of the bases, right? Like I feel like we've talked about most of the things that were on the agenda.
Mm.
Trying to think of like I was gonna recommend some things. I was trying to figure out what would be good.
Well,
Something that I was gonna say is the Planet of the Apes movies. I wanted to watch those. I'm gonna probably watch those soon.
I think you'd like those. Those are good.
I heard good things about those.
But one thing that we did forget about is the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Oh right.
I saw your video. I was not expecting. Why I'm not excited for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's definitely like a weird situation. I'll watch it probably, and I'll like see how it turns out. But it's just kind of like one of those situations where I just like, yeah, it's not connected to the Mandalorian or whatever. Like, I'm kind of like my interest in that has like waned significantly after the Boba Fett kind of ruined it. But like, that is like, I'm like, okay, you're not connected to that, so that gives me like a little bit of hope. But I also just don't really think it can add anything to the story. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be cool to see Obi-Wan Kenobi again, and Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that Hayden Christensen, Darth Vader, because we haven't seen them since Revenge of the Sith. Right? Yeah, so really looking forward to that. Well, I was, and then it's sort of my anticipation has sort of gone down a bit because of just the Inquisitors, how it's looking, where he's going to be hiding the entire time a bit more, more Tatooine.
Yeah, I just don't really know. Like, it's just like, yeah, I mean, surely it adds like I guess some context to what he was doing, but it's like, why do I really care about what he's doing? Like on Tatooine, he's just sitting there, and then he gets chased by some people. Like, he can't die. He's just gonna kill them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to it. I finished Rebels season 1, and I don't want to watch anymore. It's really bad. It's the worst thing that I've ever seen from Star Wars, I would say.
Oh,
easily.
Jeez, that's harsh. No, it gets better.
Okay, that's good.
It does. Like season 2 kind of peaks at the end.
Yeah, with Ahsoka versus Vader.
Yeah, and then season 3 and 4, I think, are both like pretty solid.
Okay, well that's good.
I
saw that you put it above season 1 of Clone Wars on your list, and I'm like, no, it's going all the way back to the bottom.
Oh, really?
I'm getting my list ready.
Season 1, I just had like no memory of like Clone Wars season 1. Like my brain, like it just kind of left my memory. There were like a couple episodes of Rebels season 1 that I liked.
Well, Clone Wars season 1, I've just seen so many times because my dad got me the DVD set 4 or 5 years ago. So I've seen that season the most. I've probably seen it like 3 or 4 times. So unfortunately, the worst Clone Wars season I've seen the most. But anyway, I'm just gonna stop recording right here. So
Yeah.
go over to subscribe to Hobbricks channel. I'll leave a link down there. Subscribe to Maxreviews. Thanks everybody for watching.